Welcome into the Inside Carolina 2020-21 basketball player position previews. Next up, I'm your host, Ross Martin, joined by Sherrell McMillan and Greg Barnes. Next up is Anthony Harris, 6'4", 195 pounds. He's a redshirt sophomore this season after missing most of his true freshman year. And last season, didn't play a lot, was really kind of late to the scene after coming back from ACL surgery. 16 games, 11 minutes per game, 3.2 points, 1 rebound, 1.3 assists, 44.2% from the field, and 25% from three. I mean, to my memory, Anthony Harris played a little bit, had some sparks here and there, and just didn't play much as the the last half of the season, the last half of his season. Sherrell, what can you expect from what Anthony Harris can bring to this team this season?
I think first and foremost, his health is always going to be paramount, considering he had 2 ACL tears in 2 seasons. And so he made it through an entire year without any issues, it seems like. And so now you always hear people say that it's the year after you come back from your ACL when you get fully healthy. So I think that's what you're looking at now. For the first time in 3.5, almost 4 years, he's 100% healthy and ready to go. And I think what he brings to UNC is going to be off the bench defensive intensity, as well as an ability to push tempo. And I think he showed some good court vision a few times during the season, in that he's able to find teammates for open shots. So, you don't like to call guys, or it's a negative sometimes in people's minds to call people glue guys. But I think that's exactly what Anthony Harris can be, a steadying influence off the bench who will go in, play hard, and not be a net negative when he's in the game.
Greg, your takes? I mean, I feel like he's kind of a forgotten guy on this roster, but he's tough. He's proven to knock down some shots, and it does bring that defensive intensity.
Yeah, I don't think it's an insult at all to talk about glue guys, especially when you're talking about a roster what North Carolina's going to have this year, because they've got a legitimate All-ACC guy at point guard. They've got a guy that may be preseason All-ACC, your player of the year, and Armando Bacot in the post. And they know what they have the other spots. I mean, they've got veteran guys, or at least sophomores, who have played a full season. So it's not like you're relying on a bunch of young freshmen coming in. And I think that's beneficial here because they know what Anthony Harris can bring to the table. And it is that defensive spark. As good as some of these guys may be scoring the ball, they need somebody that can come in and can lock down and provide that energy boost off the bench. That's invaluable. Especially for a team like this that has struggled with that in recent years. And so that's going to be his role. He really took the minutes of Andre Platek last year, once he came back in January, and really just kind of came off the bench and did some good things. He's got to improve that shot, but I agree with Sherrell that coming off injury, it's just such a hard thing to kind of get your rhythm back. So I expect some of those numbers to get better. But he's a guy that has proven he can finish in transition. So if you come off the bench, you can be really good defensively, you can provide an energy boost, and you can be productive in transition. There's going to be minutes for you. And I think that's what Anthony Harris is looking at this year.
Yeah, you could always, I think at his age, he's been there 3 seasons. He can be a leadership role, locker room guy, which kind of goes along with that, with the defensive intensity and energy. Maybe a poor man's Theo Pinson, which I mean in the nicest way. Sherrell, how do you see him fitting into the rotation?
That is an excellent question, Ross. I think he will be probably the second guard off the bench, if I had to guess, behind RJ Davis, and of course with Kerwin and Caleb starting. But again, we're still learning what Hubert Davis wants to do and how he wants to do it. So maybe he puts more of an emphasis on on the ball pressure from his guards than Roy Williams did. I don't know if that's true, but maybe he does. And if he does, then yeah, Harris is going to play a lot and be one of those first guys off the bench. But if he doesn't and he values something else, then he might piece it together game by game. That's the good thing about this UNC roster, is that different people can star in different games based upon what the team needs. And so there might be a game where somebody is just destroying UNC from the perimeter, and Hubert Davis says, go get number 11 and guard him for 20 minutes. And he does that. And then there might be a game where they have to score 100 points to win, and you might not have Anthony Harris in the game. So I think it's all still TBD, but he will have a role.
Greg, do you think he can play some 3?
Yeah, he certainly can play some 3. I think the issue, though, is you've got so many guys that can really play at that spot.
Yeah.
He's going to be in the mix, but when you're talking about Leaky Black and Justin McCoy, how many minutes they're going to be there. And I think that's going to be the challenge for Hubert Davis is he's got all these options, which is great. Now you have to figure out what actually works. Does he try to make that determination before the season starts? Is it just kind of play and feel as the season goes along? And I think Anthony Harris is going to get caught in that because he is probably, I agree with Sherrell, he is probably the second guard off the bench. But then if you're talking about him playing at the 3, he may be the third for the 3 spot.
Yeah.
And so it really is kind of a touch and go thing right now.
Anthony Harris enters his redshirt sophomore season, coming back from 2 ACL surgeries last year in the 2021-22 season.